What is the purpose of all of this, taking it apart?
The purpose of this ShiftKit that I should have explained in the beginning of the video, and maybe I'll cut this clip into the beginning and you'll just wonder what's going on here. It is to help hold more horsepower and shift harder. Because for those of you who don't understand completely how an automatic transmission works, from my horrible understanding of it, which is not very much, but enough to know that the different clutch packs inside there are held together by fluid pressure from the pump, which is, you know, spun off the engine. And that's what hydraulic fluid pressure goes through all these things. Well, they say a transmission's blown up or melted. It's when the fluid pressure is being applied to a specific clutch pack to do a specific thing, and it is not sticking. Like when you hit the brakes on your car and your brake pads are gone and you don't stop, it's like sort of like that. If it's not sticking, you're not moving. And what this does is we're gonna end up drilling a couple holes bigger in some places that lets more fluid through and will increase the pressure inside the transmission to have more clamping force on those clutch packs, and also it'll have more clamping force, and it will get that clamping force faster so the fluid can move quicker and move harder to hit gears harder and hold them stronger. That's what the purpose of this is, and why you have to go in here and make holes bigger and change springs and that kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot more sense. I was just confused because I thought that you were just like gonna get this transmission and like put it in Uncle Rob. I didn't know that you were like gonna sit here and take it all apart.
Yeah, no, this is, I'm not touching anything on the inside. We're just doing the valve body part, because if the whole thing is coming apart, it's going to someone else and it's getting better clutch packs, a billet, input shaft, all that stuff. But I want to put this in together with the basic HD2 ShiftKit, something you can do by watching YouTube videos like this one, or someone's who's put together better than mine, has done it before, in your garage floor, throw it in your truck and see what happens. That's what we're gonna do. So if this transmission melts, we'll take it apart and tell you why. If it snaps an input shaft, we'll tell you how much horsepower it happened at, because Uncle Rob is a build for science. It's the people's build for science. Because if I was doing this the right way, I probably would have sent this thing off and had it built for, like, you know, as much as one could be built by still using this valve body and not the Extreme Automatics one. And then I never have to worry about it. But that is not good content. We have to break things here, and we have to demonstrate why you need to do certain things. And you learn that by doing things the wrong way. So we're gonna do things the wrong way or in stages to better serve you in your future endeavors of stuff. Today is a special day because today we are prepping this here 4L80 for installation in old Uncle Rob. And this 4L80 is not just any 4L80. This is one that I've had for 3 years now, just sitting around waiting for a rainy day. And everybody loves, you know, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace stories. I didn't buy this for the transmission. I bought it because there was a transfer case attached to it. The transfer case attached to this transmission is the one in the Escalade. I got them as a whole, you know, combo deal for, get ready for this, $300 in summer of 2018. I bought this 4L80 with a transfer case on it, a 261 HD, and even had the converter, which is not in here now. You know, all this harness and stuff on it, everything, for 300 bucks. And I thought, heck, I'm not even gonna get the guy to separate them. I want that transmission. I'll leave it under the shelf until I need it. Well, 3 years later, I need it. We'll have to pull all this old stuff off, but I'm thinking this connector may actually serve to be useful when we go to add a pin to the other connector in there for the conversion part of the wiring, whatever. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, it's never a bad idea to keep connectors to harvest extra pins out of and things like that. It's already got the range selector on it, which is great because I broke the one on the 4L60 trying to get it off. I broke it on the original one. And as far as the preparation for this thing goes, we are not really gonna do that much to it, but install the tried and true HD2 ShiftKit. As I hold the box upside down, and I'm a great presentator. Look at this, it's upside down. It's made in Australia. But yeah, it's you know, the go-to. I've never actually installed one of these. It's just pretty well documented that these things in a stock 4L80 are a really good combination for holding some good power. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be learning this right alongside you guys. I've never done it before. I assembled a 4L80 once years ago following a manual, and it worked, but I don't really remember a whole lot about it. From what I understand, Ashton, the tech here, told me he did this to his transmission, but he followed the sloppy mechanics guide where you don't use all the pieces. Like, I guess they want you to go inside and do some stuff to it, and they say you don't have to do that, just use this stuff, pull the pan, do the stuff, put it back on, whatever. I'm going to refer to that guideline for this because I don't want to take this thing apart. So you will see me reference whatever documentation is on that quite frequently throughout this video. I'm going to pull all that stuff off, at least the stuff that doesn't need to stay there. And since I don't have a free engine stand, we're just going to throw it up on this cart here and flip it over just so it's a little bit higher off the ground, and you know, I don't have to be all hunched over to do this. So if you remember in the last video of pulling the 4L60 out of this thing, which you should go watch if you haven't seen it yet, check the Uncle Rob Yukon XL playlist on my channel. It's on there. Tanner pointed out that these connectors are hard to get out because they're actually glued in on these older ones, at least for the 4L60s. He didn't know if they were glued in on 4L80s or not, and I'm here to tell you that they are glued in. And now I know why they cut the harness, because they couldn't get this out, they just cut it. So I heated it up and pulled them out, just like we did in the last video. Now this range selector should be good to go. I'll have to tighten it back down, but yeah, I'm guessing they probably tried two things. They tried to get the connectors out, and they couldn't, and then they tried to unbolt this and pull this off, and they couldn't, so they just cut it. That's probably what happened. But now that that's off, we can get to flipping this thing over and tearing the pan off. I don't think it has fluid in it. I don't know. We'll find out though. Logan's putting together a dog pen so Ruger can sit out here with us, so he doesn't get off into hurt himself on anything out here, because he's still got the cone on his head. Turns out it does have fluid in it still, because I can see it through the dipstick hole, which I used to have the dipstick. I don't know if I even brought it here. I brought this here when I brought Uncle Rob down here. I actually drove back from Pennsylvania. When I went to get Uncle Rob from my uncle, I drove it back with this in the back. So that's how it got here. Kind of funny it transported its own transmission down here. I don't know why I can't talk today. But anyway, got this kind of rigged up here to drain this fluid. There's a thingy down there. I am mildly interested to see what this fluid looks like. So I was told it works. Probably does, but you know, you never know. Okay, maybe there is no fluid in it. Huh, joke's on you. There is fluid in here. I wasn't stupid. I just have to turn it to get it to come out. And it looks okay. Pretty red. You can tell it's not new, but it's not junk either. Just typical transmission fluid. We're going all in. We're doing this real backyard, garage, driveway, whatever style. If this looks dignified, please tell me, and tell me whatever it is you do that makes this look dignified, because I feel like this is only maybe one step above from just flipping it over, you know, right on the front lawn and cracking open a Busch Light and sitting on the cooler while you do it. Not that that sounds bad, but you know, I kind of wish it was a little bit more, you know, not so far on the ground, not on a dirty cart, but you know, it's what we got. If you're wondering where Logan is, she is in the office packing your orders right now. She does all of that herself. She just technically works for me now, which is cool, and she actually does work pretty hard. So yeah, if you order something, you get a handwritten note from her that I signed to. Yeah, I'm gonna need a container, guys. Hold on a minute. All bolts are out. Let's see what this bad boy looks like. Blech. Looks pretty clean. You got a little bit of crud on the magnet. It's pretty normal, but there's nothing major in here. I would say this is functioning transmission for now. Get this filter off too. Pretty sure you just pull on it. Yep, that was hard. Now we're gonna need to pull bolts out for this wiring harness and this little pickup tube here that lubes the rear of the case, I think, something like that. Yeah. And then we'll pull this off and some other things, which I'm not really sure because I haven't read the instructions completely yet. Like I said, learning as I go. Now we got this thingy out of the way, which also leads right into the connector, which was pushed in. It wasn't clipped in, so its O-ring was out. I just shoved that back in because I don't want it to leak. Didn't want to forget about it either. Now, we got to get this membrane cover thingy-majiggy off. I read the bolts are the same length as the rest of them, but they have 8mm heads instead of 10. So, I guess when we put this back in, we'll just have to make sure we use the 8mm head ones. From my research, I've gathered that you're supposed to twist this instead of lifting up as to not damage the membrane. So we're gonna do that. Okay. That worked well. See the little membrane thingy-mabobs in there? Almost like rubber diaphragms. I don't know exactly what they do, but I guess they're important because you're not supposed to break them. Is he gonna do this for me?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
He's getting mud all over me.
What a nice dog. You just cleaned him too.
Yeah, but I took him out there.
Yeah. Also, side note, I saw your footprints out there about 20 minutes before you walked out there. I stood off that ledge and peed and you walked right through it.
You could have told me that before I walked over there.
I didn't notice you were gone until I looked and you were already like a mile down there with him running around in the mud. Valve body bolts out. There's like about 1/3 of a bazillion of them, seems like, if I had to guess. I am hoping that this angle it's sitting at is not enough to make all the check balls fall out, because when you lift this up, there's almost like, you know, inside of a ball bearing, little balls, and they do something in there for the fluid path. The witchcraft that happens in here, I don't know, but I know they have to be in there and they're important and they're easy to lose. Like if you had this up in the truck still and you drop the valve body, they might stick up in there and you don't know, and the surface tension goes away and then they all fall out, you lose them. Hopefully they don't fall out. We're gonna find out if they do. And this camera may actually be a useful tool to find them if they do fall out. So let's see what happens here. Oh, looks like these bolts go the whole way through. I'm gonna have to unbolt this completely. I thought I could just loosen them and leave it there, but they are part of the program. This is my first time doing anything like this. I just don't touch transmissions, but this is a pretty simple thing. So we're here doing it. You see all those little balls in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the check balls we're trying not to lose. Which is pretty nice. They're kind of like held captive. From what I understand, the majority of the work we're going to be doing takes place in this valve body. So that's cool. I'm gonna have to clean this off a little bit. I think we have to take it apart, but before we take it apart, I'm gonna clean it off so there's less crud to deal with. So then, after you take that off, you take this thing off. I don't know what it does, but I know that you have to take it off, so that's what I'm doing. If you came to this video looking for specific guidance on this topic, it's not here. If you came here looking to learn something and be entertained by it, and then at the end figure out what you're doing, you're in the right place. But if you're in a pinch and you want to learn something real quick, I would recommend going and watching someone else's video, because I've never done this before. And more fluid comes out. Fluid comes out of everything.
I was gonna hand you a rag, but I don't want to hand you the wrong one, so I'm just not. You have a special rag, even though they all look the same. Yeah,
well, that rag has all kinds of dirt on it. Then it just gets all up on my hands, and I don't like it, so that rag can suck it. I put these in a bag just to keep them separate, because I don't know if they're the same size as the other ones. I think they are, but, you know, better safe than sorry. And I'll put these springs in here too. These kind of look like wastegate springs. That could be a test How many pounds of boost does a 4L80 valve body spring make in a wastegate? There we go. That'll make life easier. What do you think when you look at this?
It's like those like children's games where you like try to find the end of the maze.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know a secret. The end of this maze is an empty wallet, sadness, and glimmers of fun times.
Glimmers.
Just sometimes. But the end of the rainbow here is disappointment in an empty wallet. This check ball spot looks worn. I don't know if this is normal or not. You see that?
Yeah.
You see like it's like been moving around in a way that it's not supposed to?
Yeah.
It looks worn out. I wonder which hole that's in.
It's weird. That one like looks like...
Yeah, it's got... The case is like marred up. Here.
Well, that's a great...
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. We're gonna have to consult some experts because I don't know. You know who I'm gonna ask? Is Lonnie Deers, the owner of Extreme Automatics, the place that builds my 4L80s for the Escalade. Piece of 4L80 knowledge here, learn from my woe and misery at the end of my rainbow. The end of Carl Rossler's rainbow for 4L80s is it's always your fault and it won't work, and it's your fault every time, and you will get hung out to dry, because that is exactly what happened to me. I melted 5 of those things 3 different ways over the course of about 6 months, making 1,000 less horsepower than I was told it would hold. I told them exactly how much it would weigh, exactly how much power it was gonna be making. It was 4-wheel drive. I got, oh, yep, no problem. It'll hold it just fine. So, cool, here you go, Carl, $6 grand. Never worked for more than 2 freaking passes, 1,100 wheel. I ditched the thing. I call Extreme Automatics to get a turbo 400 because I was like, screw it, 4L80s are, you know, it's just not gonna work. I can't do this anymore. I called Lonnie to get a quote on a 400, and he's like, oh, well, what's in it now? I said a 4L80. He said, well, why are you changing it? I was like, because my Rossler kept melting. And he's like, what happened? And I kind of explained it. There's a whole technical reason why it doesn't work. And it has to do with the stock valve body. The stock valve body has issues with fluid distribution over a certain strain level, like horsepower and weight, that it just can't proportion the fluid properly for that to work. So Extreme Automatics has this billet valve body that's a ground up redesign of all this sad maze brain stuff, and it's allegedly fixes that. I called Lonnie to get a quote on a turbo 400. He said, I could build you one, but you don't need one. He said, let me fix the 80, it will work. And it cost me less to have him redo my 4L80 his way than it did for him to build me a 400, which I originally asked for. So he cost himself a bigger sale by trying to do that. And you know what? It freaking worked. I busted I wore out the direct band once. Just needed more pressure, so we took it apart, had it redone. And since then, it has held everything I have thrown at it. It has held almost 1,000 horsepower more than Rossler's best attempt did. Just so, moral of the story, if you have a truck or a heavy car or anything making 1,500, 2,000 horsepower and you need a 4L80, you call Lonnie at Extreme Automatics and tell him you want what's in that thing, and you will be fine. There are very few places that a 4L80 is under more extreme conditions than that teal Escalade. One of them is a Trans Am that I think has been 690s at 3,800 pounds. He hasn't broken it either. So pretty much me and that guy are pushing the limits of mankind technology with these things. So Extreme Automatics is the place to go. That's who I'm gonna ask about this weird check ball thing. I feel like it's not a big deal. Well, it's a big deal if I lose the ball. Where did it go? Did I drop it in here?
Good job, yeah, you did. Don't do it. Don't. You know where it is now. Don't pick at it.
Well, I was looking at the hole.
Lose it.
I was looking at the hole that it came from. I think I should just probably stop trying to figure out how it works and just do what I'm supposed to do. And just to double check, where did that ball go? Because I didn't see it.
I did. Don't worry. We'll find the pick and we'll get it.
Where is it?
It's in there.
Okay.
That's what you get for fingering holes.
Here, I'm referencing a video by A21 Bravo. 4L80 HD2 kit improved method without pressure relief. I am doing exactly what he says on here. So if this doesn't work, I blame him or me for being an idiot, but I'm just joking. That's what I'm going by, because the instructions in the box will have you use all the stuff on the inside of the transmission that we don't need. So I've had that transmission for 3 years and I've had this for 2 years. I toted that thing around all over the place as a backup for the Escalade if I needed it between events. My thought was, if I busted it somewhere and I had another event the next weekend, because sometimes it was so far away I just didn't go home, I would just find stuff to do throughout the week. I was totally prepared to change the transmission in a parking lot, and my logic was I could take this HD2 kit, throw it in there, put the Escalade on like 6 pounds, and at least participate in the next one. So that transmission has spent a lot of time riding around on the back of Elvis. So is this box that until recently it was actually in a Summit box that I never even opened. Did you open this box?
I might have.
It was like an oil stained cardboard box. It was kind of busted open already.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, because I saw this sitting on the shelf down here and I was like, oh, so that's what that
yeah,
box
I
looked like.
definitely opened that box. I threw that box away because it looked gross.
Yeah, it was gross. That thing has ridden probably 6,000-7,000 miles in the back of Elvis, bouncing around with this thing and a couple extra tires. Is it just me, or does Mr. Shift look like Howie Long?
I don't know who that is.
You watch football more than I do. How do you not know who Howie Long is?
Sounds old.
He's a commentator guy. Used to play
well then that explains why I don't give a shit.
Used to play for the Raiders.
Oh.
What we really need here are these springs in this bag, according to this video. This does something to replace this little peggy thing that we took out of here.
I don't know if you can hear Tanner.
We took stuff out of there, which came out of this hole, and I just used the pick to take that little roll pin out. It's pretty easy. But yeah, this piston went in first, then it was the spring, then it was this plug. What?
Kids.
Yeah, kids.
Kids? Instead of daycare over there again?
Yeah, they have a ball.
A what?
A ball.
Oh God.
His baby's ball. They're playing with his baby's ball.
Who? Little John and
The child.
Baylor? Candyman?
What?
Are you playing basketball?
I'm not. Candyman's playing like a child. Oh wait, he is a child. Over here.
Yeah. Anybody doubts that he's actually 17? Like, come on. What is this tag here? Does that mean it's like reman or something?
I don't know. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had to put the little O-ring on this plug here. The plug in the kit replaces the plug that comes out. So, I don't know why, but it does.
It looks the same?
It's different. It has an O-ring in it. I'm not sure why, but it's got a thread in the one end and an O-ring. I really don't know. I'm not asking questions, I'm just following directions. And then I'm kind of also going off of these here for the diagrams. The O-ring and the 2 blue springs, which we have right there. It says for slightly firmer shifts, use the blue accumulator spring by itself. For even firmer shifts, use the blue accumulator spring by itself for the inner one, it says. Now, I read about this a little bit, and it works, from what I understand, is that the more spring you have in there, the softer the shift, because the more pressure that thing has to go against to open. So you would think, oh, let's go with the hardest option. But if you don't have that much pressure in there, it will downshift more aggressive. Like if you're coming to a stop, it'll you know, kind of like downshift more abruptly. I don't know, but I'm not gonna overdo it. The guy in the video I'm watching uses both springs. It says both springs in here. Both springs are still better than stock. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'll make sure I didn't get those bound up. Can you see that in there? I wanna make sure that they're not like crossed up or anything when I put this in. So, and you put this plug in with the threaded end out. Don't know what the threads are for. So we could just do that real quick. Shove this dowel pin back in here. This roll pin. I guess I can put this back on now. I'll pull it out with my finger. I think we just did it. So the next thing is on the other side, there's a similar deal here with the little roll pin. In the directions it says, you know, to have this relief assembly thing and to drill some hole here for that. I have gathered not to do this part because this thing can get stuck and blow your transmission up. So the particular video I'm watching, he's not doing it for that reason. The forum things I've read and skimmed over, they don't do it for that reason either. You don't use the entire kit here. So I'm just trusting what has already been put out there and proven. We're gonna do it that way and just modify these directions a little bit. But we're still gonna reference these for the diagrams for the parts that we do use. So to get this plug out, you can pull this valve thingy, which is, I think, the main apparatus on the shifter. I think this is what this moves. So this is kind of what tells the transmission what to do. I'm just gonna use an extension because it's what I have. We're gonna stick that in there and pop this thing out. So if you can focus on that. Oh, felt it move, should be right there.
Yep.
Sweet. Then there's this little filter thingy in here. And we got to do something with that. But I'm going to put this in here so we don't lose it. Now it's time to reference the directions again and find out what to do next. I stuck the little plug thingy in here. I think I did it right. I don't know. Possibly. I see the O-ring still. I don't know if it is in the whole way or not. I can already tell it's not in far enough because there's no way that's going to fit. So I'm gonna have to do some persuasion here. I think it's in now. Just took a little bit to get it. Hopefully I didn't mess something up. We'll find out the hard way. There's some crud in this filter, but I don't think it's going to be doing any more filtering because we just put a plug in. Orange spring from this bag and this new end plug. And the only thing left in here are drill bits, which I believe are used for a future step. So we'll stick this right down there. It says if end plug won't go in far enough, grind outer edge of filter slightly. So we gotta pop this back out and grind the plastic on the filter. That's some high-tech stuff right there. So ground the end of the filter down on the wrong side.
Are you kidding me?
No. See, the guy in the video just took it out and he's like, yeah, and I assume that he did that end, but it says outer edge, not that. I don't know why it makes a difference. You remove the O-ring, so it's not sealing anything. It's plugged right here.
So then don't worry about it.
I don't know what this does. Well, if it doesn't work, then, you know, we know what was wrong then, I guess. YOLO. See if it fits.
You did kind of beat stuff up.
What?
You beat stuff up and to like come back up that way. I was just making sure you took that into account.
Yeah, you're right.
I know.
I forgot. See, this is why you're here. There we go. It's so tight, it doesn't want to fit in here unless it's like absolutely perfect. Okay, so I ground the outside of the filter and it fit in this time. I didn't show you guys because that was mildly annoying, and well, we do have to get this done. So you happen to miss that. Good news is there is more stuff that I will inevitably mess up on during this. So we're just getting started. Well, the next step is drilling holes in the separator plate. So we got to clean it, and getting the gasket off is kind of yucky. And I must have been taking too long to peel all the pieces off because Logan just kind of stole it from me and started doing it.
You're getting annoyed with everything.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, let me know, guys. Is being inside a transmission's valve body typically something that may cause annoyance?
Yeah, that's why I took it away.
I mean, you could probably do the whole thing just as good as I've done it. I've already messed up the filter. By the way, the shirt both of us are wearing is Good Wrench styled. You can get that at StaplesonAutoWorks.com. Oh, she's doing that. Let's check out the instructions. Discard original plate. Wait a minute. It comes with another one?
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, it does. It was under the packaging, okay?
Maybe you should like read the instructions.
See, I thought it came with a new one, but when I opened the box, there wasn't anything in there. Did you just get brake clean in your cuts?
Felt great.
It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, it's literally the first
Why'd
words.
you put it on this oily shit? You gotta stick the thingies to it.
I don't know, I'm dumb, okay? Clearly I'm dumb. This whole thing is a giant flub. We will be lucky if this actually moves forward. It will. Okay, discard original plate. First thing on the page, I should have looked at that first. I'm retarded. If that offends you, I don't care. Anyway, selecting shift firmness.
Can I just put the sticker on it? This is a sticker, right?
No, it's a gasket.
Yeah, but it's like, it sticks on like a sticker.
He put glue on it.
Oh.
Like some oil.
Oh.
Yeah, like thick oil.
Well, damn. I thought it was like peel off and you stick it to it.
You know, that'd be a cool concept for gaskets, wouldn't it? I have to patent that. Okay, so we have the holes marked out. There's holes A, B, and C. So A, B, C are on here. Marked them with a Sharpie. Double, triple check because you can't undrill a hole. Here's A, B, C. And now we drill holes. First we tighten the drill more. This is not a precision operation today. Z-holes are your friends. Center gaskets on plate and insert valve body bolts through the Z-holes first to keep gaskets and plate from twisting. Just put those in there just to kind of line it up. So, got this gasket thingy sitting on here. And I guess for these springs that came out of the accumulator, accumulates what? I don't know. Patience, maybe. This one stays the same. This one, you use the white one from this bag here, and the green one that I pulled out of here will not go in there. I guess whenever you bolt this down, this part of the gasket is kind of free floating once you go to turn it and put it back on the case. That's why you want to put the goo on there. So we'll get this in, get this tightened down, and then move on to, I believe, something to do with this dome thingy right here. You know, I was just thinking, I don't think that drain pan needs to be there anymore. Then I walked up and I was like, yeah, it's still dripping. Then we pop this open and it goes back to peeing all over the floor, which is great. I'm glad I left it there. What is under here? Ah, the dome. Whoa.
Looks the same to me.
This already has one of these.
We'll replace it anyway.
Yeah. This is a remanufactured transmission. It's got this little tag on the side, so it had been rebuilt at some point, which means they probably used this when they rebuilt it. That's funny. No, it's just orange. It's still different. This could be just happen to be the same color, but I find that amusing regardless. If anyone knows if that's just an orange stock spring or if some reman places had, I don't know. If you know something about this that I don't know, please tell me, is what I'm asking. So, yeah, then there's this stick, and then this spring goes on the stick, and you put the stick back in the hole. Like that. Looks good to me. Yeah, we got some nice crud on there, probably some clutch material. We're just gonna pretend none of that is there. I hope you guys are having a good time. You know, make a comment, let me know if you're having a good time, bad time, medium time, what kind of time, anything. Now I'm just occupying space while I do this because I don't know what else to do. Probably cut the clip, but why would you do that when I could ramble on about nonsense and ask you to make comments about how things are going? Do you watch these videos to distract yourself from problems that you should be dealing with? Or are you actually trying to learn things? How about that for your deep question of the day? I don't know what the torque spec on this is, but we're just gonna do it like the Germans. You know how the Germans do it?
No.
Guten Tag.
You're retarded.
Guten Tag.
Did your dad use that one on you?
No, actually, that one was from Sean Curry. My friend that at one point we were not friends and he punched me in the head and broke his wrist.
Yeah.
And then he helped me wrap the Escalade several years later. Yeah, that guy. Sean, if you're watching this, I still use that stupid joke. Okay, so doing a little bit more research, the last step of the install is this stuff. It's for some type of pump spring in here, but the little piston that is in there, a worthwhile upgrade is something that has like relief holes in it, keeps the converter from dragging if you have a higher stall triple disc converter with lots of line pressure, aka what will be in here. I think I want to wait and put that in. This is it here. Sonax lube regulated pressure regulator valves. Probably said that wrong, but yeah, it's got holes in it, and that thingy goes in here and it relieves that pressure. And this is what that does too. If you take the pump out, you drill this hole here and it kind of does the same thing. But if you get that thingy, you don't have to drill the hole. I don't want to take the pump out and drill the hole. And we happen to have a Summit Racing location 5 minutes from here. So I'm thinking tomorrow morning after the gym, just pop on down there, get one of those because they're in stock, throw this in, bolt everything else down, and we'll be good to go. The next video will be the install, which is pretty freaking sweet. But yeah, as far as putting this back together goes, one of these check balls does not go back in. Yeah. Hey, guess which ball doesn't go back in?
The messed up one?
The one that I knocked out, that you put back. Yeah. Well, that one actually gets pulled out on purpose, so.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know why, but it says no ball here. You know.
No ball.
Yeah, every time it says check balls, I just want to be like, yep, still there. Horrible dad joke. Let me know if you thought that was even remotely funny. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty much it. The rest of it's just bolting stuff down. You know, this is the springs that we're going to do in there, we're not going to use because we're not taking this thing apart. So that's that. It's just bolting things down at this point. What are you doing with that?
I was gonna show you the shirt. You can get the same shirt as me at StapletownAutoworks.com. I pack all your orders, so give me something to do.
Yeah, yours won't be dirty like ours are. This, yeah, I wear this a lot. I try not to pull too many from the pile because, you know, then you sell out, and I could have sold it. But yeah, we got those. We got Candymans. I don't know. You want to pop one of those open real quick?
Candyman?
Yeah. We don't have one hanging over there.
Oh.
Yep, that's Baylor. Look at that mustache. And that one has the 777 logo on the front too. That's the shop. Yep, there's that, and the OG flag shirt, and the hoodies, which have the same graphic as the flag shirt. What was that for?
I was getting out of the way.
I thought you were trying to make a scene.
You weren't supposed to video that part.
Well, yeah, also, sneak peek, boxes ready to go for hats. It'll probably be a couple weeks before they get here, but we got them, we're prepared, they're coming. Now that Logan is helping do all this stuff, it used to be me, I couldn't handle all of it. Now we're really ramping it up because you can handle it.
Exactly.
Divide and conquer. Anything else?
No.
All right. Yep, I know your real G's are still here as she just walks into my elbow. If you found that video useful, or if you like these videos, if you learn things, share it to a friend, just one friend. I like to think we give out a lot of useful information in this stuff, and sometimes the algorithm doesn't always help it grow. So if you actually physically tell somebody that you think could benefit from this stuff, that helps a lot. So I appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the actual install video for the 4L80, and we'll go over the tail end of this stuff with that too, transfer case, all that. So if you haven't caught up on the whole build yet, go to the Uncle Rob playlist on my channel, and you can see everything from the day I picked that thing up from my actual Uncle Rob at my grandma's house, where he talks about it, and you know, driving it back to Texas. So all that stuff is on there, whole build's documented. Go check that out.